I just had to start recording here because I am actually making quite a bit of money per week, $1 million and a half per week, and I think it's going to go up 2 million. I did see it as high as 8, which is why I actually went back in time a little bit to record this session to 3 million. It should go up as high as 8 in a little bit, and I think it's all built off oil, because I think that, I don't know why it's going up, but we can see there 4.5, nearly 5 million a week. It's just going to keep going up and up and up. We can see now nearly 100% of our income is coming from fishing, which is just absolute, or not just fishing, but industry areas, absolutely ridiculous. 7 million, and I'm going to pause it in a second when it gets to 9 million a week. Not that I really need the money, but it is nice to be making 9 million a week. Hello and welcome to another episode of City Skylines, where yes, my income is still skyrocketing. I've got 12 million a week now. Nearly 13 million. I just don't know why it's going up by so much, but it is nice to see. I suspect it's because of all these vehicles going into here, and not really sure why they would be going up suddenly so much now. But at 15 million now, it's just skyrocketing now. But that is not the only thing I'm here to do. What I'm here to do today is to try and work on the industries a little bit more, not the generic industries, because I've got a lot of trucks using this section of the east-west, or not east-west link, the loop here to get to into here and everywhere else. It's causing a lot of traffic. Nearly 20 million now. That is absolutely ridiculous. So yes, what I want to do is try and make sure there isn't so many trucks using this part of the highway, because it is getting a little bit busy. A little bit too busy at the moment. So if I can figure that out, it would be great. Now, one of the things I did think is train and what is this, and plane, but I don't think it's going to cope with so much of this. So what other thought I had is to move some of the industry down to here maybe, and that might solve some of the problems. So that is something I'm going to look into, perhaps over here as well. So a few places I need to think about. But as my income slowly finally reduces to a manageable number, it's something that we're going to be looking at. So another thing I want to look at is trying to export all this stuff. You can see recently I have changed it so they're just going direct into two different trains, one going left, one going right. And all of these, or most of these, should be exporting directly out of the city, which should help a little bit. Hopefully. And some of these might be going directly into here, which is not ideal, but I'm not sure if there's much we can do about it at the time being. So a few things here and there to look at and to handle. So I'm going to change this just a tad to try and make sure that it's nice and smooth coming on, and then get started on looking at my generic industries. See, what I really like from this area is to be able to have the stuff go by train and some of them by plane, but not by road. I want them to go by train across to my various cargo stations, especially here, and where's another one? In here if I can, and to over here. So I want them to be going by cargo, but I don't want these things here to be taking off to here and then. So I don't want these vehicles to come off train, to come along here to the train, come on the road to here, go by train to say here, and then come by road across again, because that would just be stupid. So I'm really hoping that something like this will allow more vehicles to start using these things. Already you can see a small truck, and where's this thing? So he's going to the fancy boutique, which is over there. So in theory that means that this is actually going to work. This station isn't too far away from the rest, so let's keep an eye on that for a little while. I do seem to have pipeline problems somewhere. I saw a lot of disconnected pipelines where it's not really doing anything at the moment. Kind of like that. Possibly that one was the issue. But generally speaking, I think it's going pretty well. I do have a water problem down here. I think this is sucking up too much water. So what I might need to do is put in a couple more of these little water sources, just small ones, like there, and there, and that should sort out my water problems, hopefully. Hello and welcome to another episode of City Skylines, where yes, my income is still skyrocketing. I've got 12 million a week now, nearly 13 million. I just don't know why it's going up by so much, but it is nice to see. I suspect it's because of all these vehicles going into here, and not really sure why they would be going out suddenly so much now. But at 15 million now, it's just skyrocketing now. But that is not the only thing I'm here to do. What I'm here to do today is to try and work on the industries a little bit more, not the generic industries, because I've got a lot of trucks using this section of the east-west, or not east-west link, the loop here to get to into here and everywhere else. It's causing a lot of traffic. Nearly 20 million now. That is absolutely ridiculous. So yes, what I want to do is try and make sure there isn't so many trucks using this part of the highway, because it is getting a little bit busy, a little bit too busy at the moment. So if I can figure that out, it would be great. Now, one of the things I did think is train and what is this, and plane, but I don't think it's going to cope with so much of this. So what other thought I had is to move some of the industry down to here maybe, and that might solve some of the problems. So that is something I'm going to look into, perhaps over here as well. So a few places I need to think about, but as my income slowly finally reduces to a manageable number, it's something that we're going to be looking at. So another thing I want to look at is trying to export all this stuff. You can see recently I have changed it so they're just going direct into two different trains, one going left, one going right, and all of these, or most of these, should be exporting directly out of the city, which should help a little bit, hopefully. And some of these might be going directly into here, which is not ideal, but I'm not sure if there's much we can do about it at the time being. So a few things here and there to look at and to handle. So I'm going to change this just a tad to try and make sure that it's nice and smooth coming on, and then get started on looking at my generic industries. This episode is going to be a bit of a higgledy-piggledy, just doing lots and lots of different things. So I have sorted out this problem now. I have now gotten, if I come down here, a new line that sort of splits off here and connects into Ashgard Station. I think this is the first train that's making it, actually. So that, or actually not that one, but there is another train that will be coming in shortly from there. So that is very good indeed. In fact, there it is. So this is starting to work pretty well. This backlog should clear soon, and eventually this should take most of the cargo. So at least that little problem is solved, and the ring roads shouldn't be taking so much cargo soon. It should only be taking stuff that is going between export and up here, and of course anything going exporty in total. So what I think I'm going to do now is have a look at this. So I've got a lot of office buildings or industry availability. So what I'm thinking here is a new section in this section of the city, and just make it all offices. It might not be too great. I think I'm not entirely sure if this is going to work, but it is going to be a massive section added to my city. So I am going to think of a new name for it. If you can think of one, leave a name in the comments. But for the time being, I'm going to leave it as Glade Square. For the time being anyway. So we'll see what happens. It's been a couple of days since the last clip, and I've been slowly building up the office area as well as a new suburb area. So that is slowly going well. I've got a Kingsbury down here and Doolin. I probably just need a new name for that actually. Which, yeah, I'm trying to think of one. But yes, if you have any suggestion names, keep thinking of them. So what I'm thinking now is, well, firstly unpause the game and have a look around the map a little bit. So what I'm thinking is, as a way of raising a little bit more revenue, not that I really need it, is to put in a few more toll booths. So I've been looking around, and it looks like the best place to do that would probably be on the ring road, I'm thinking. So I'm trying to decide. Let's take this big one over here, for example. We need to put one in such a way we're not double tolling them. So what I'm thinking is one just before they reach the exit, and another one on this side, and the same whenever there's an entrance and exit, we do the same. So there'd be one here, another set over here, so that's 3. Let's see, another set over here, 4, and maybe one over there, 5 to here, 6 over here, possibly a 7th over here, and that will bring us all the way back down to here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and do a quick time lapse if possible, if I can figure it out, and the speed and everything, and see how it goes. My money also seems to be fluctuating a lot more as well, and I think that's because of one of the settings I changed in this over here. I changed something so it's a little bit more realistic parking and a little bit more advanced vehicle II and dynamic lane selection and all that. I don't know if that does anything, but it does seem to have affected my income a bit. Not that I really need it. Anyway, time lapse time. Let's get into it. Hopefully that little time lapse works. You'll know actually by the video if I actually put one in or not. So I decided not to do some of the ones near the bottom, partly because not so many vehicles are going to be going through. Well, okay, maybe there's a fair number of vehicles that would go through, but it's just the hassle of getting a power line and water lines all the way out here, which now that I think about it, this is probably the only one where I still need it. I've got the one over here. I've got, well, I didn't do the one over here either, though, even though this is probably the most other one that would need it. In fact, yeah, I am thinking I probably do need one over here just to get all this revenue from trucks coming back. So I suppose the best place to do that would actually be back here, because this, yeah, I'm actually going to do another, I'm going to quickly put a couple more toll booths in, and then we'll see how much our revenue has raised by. Okay, so I actually did put in a couple more toll booths. I put in a couple right here, where is it? Not there. I put in a couple at this intersection, one in each way, and where is another one? I come around through here, getting a little bit lost. There we go. So I was able to put one on this side just to capture all the traffic that was coming through here. And eventually in a little while I should see my toll revenue go up. You also saw in the time lapse I put a few toll booths through here and here. Now most of those, in fact all of them, will be trucks, so I only need to make about 52 or so to keep up with that. Yeah, actually, how much of these worth per week? They are a one-way toll booth. They're only worth 120, so I only need to have about 30 per week for that to upkeep. Same with that one, that's a little bit low. This one, 200 trucks per week, and most of these trucks here will be coming through here anyway at some point, so that is going to get me money. Some of them are going to get tolled 2 or 3 times, which is fine by me, it means more revenue. But if we're just scanning through most of these, everything around here is actually going to make a stack of money. And coming down through here, there'll be a little bit less. I probably didn't need to put it through here, but 64 is roughly enough. 124 is going to be enough. And then coming back to the ones we just built down here, 81, 49, they're probably going to be losing a bit of money on those, I'm thinking. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the way the toll booths are going for now. So I'm going to leave that for a while, check my revenue, and it's gone up. So it was around 2,000, 3,000. It should continue to go up massively. But small vehicles you can see about 1,500 and larger vehicles about 5,000. So that is good indeed. Get out of that mode and let's look for another few things to do. While we're on the subject of toll booths, I think I'm going to get rid of the ones over here because, as you can see, with the 41 and 20 cars a week, they're not really pulling their weight. So let's just get rid of those two, replace the highway. In fact, it might be better just to go back a tiny bit and fill in those sections. And then we can have a more complete highway system without having so many tollways, because now it's just basically just on the ring road, which is just about where I want it. I'm still scanning around and trying to figure out what I can do as well. And one of the things I thought about is I can actually reduce the size of these things, because the one-way toll booths I've got over here are actually 8 lane. These smaller ones are 4 lanes. They'll fit quite nicely into my highways, and I won't be spending so much to get so much money. So that should actually help my bottom line a tiny bit more, even though I don't really need the money. So I might go around and change all of these toll booths back down to the lower one, just to get myself a little bit more or less spending money down. I've been working around here for a little while and I still don't know what I can do to finish off the episode. Still got what, 16 minutes, 17 minutes into the episode? Yeah, still a fair bit of stuff to do. There's still busy roads up here which I'm not really sure how to fix, other than putting maybe another airport in and trying to make sure that planes don't come in at 90-degree angles. There are 2 landing planes and that one's taken off, so if we look at that, we can see the plane's just going to clip that, so there'd be plenty of accidents on this airport were it not for no crash physics. My population is still skyrocketing up. Still lots of things to do around here. I suppose I could increase my oil production around here or get rid of one of these two. It's one of the considerations. But yeah, generally speaking, I think my production is going pretty well. I am slowly but surely adding in sections to here. So I think something like that. I don't like putting industry, or what is this? I don't like putting commercial on the main road, but might not have a choice with some of these. If we just do that and then connect those 2 roads, that might work. But yeah, overall I'm just trying to figure out what I can do with this thing to just make it a little bit better. So I might just end the episode there. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all that, and I'll see you soon. Bye!